Hola, amigos. NRW Nerds Rule the World. Your boy Kuya P and my pal Heather Hertz. We are now in March of the apocalypse. Still surviving, still here. And to help get your mind off of what is going on in the world, we have some entertainment picks. So let's get into it. Heather, how are you in this March of the apocalypse?
Well, my birthday month is going great, you know.
Yeah, you're
It's
gonna
just
hit a
going
birthday
absolutely
mark
what
at least.
uh the same day that the government might shut down. A plus. But it's going okay. So far the month of March has been pretty fun for entertainment. So I've got to go to my first screener in months. It was a lot of fun to go do. And I got to talk to I get to talk to some really cool people on this channel. So, you know, living the
Yeah.
life. And I figured out a way to make cheap Maine lobster rolls at home. So you know what? I'm okay with it. When I say cheap, I mean like budget friendly-ish, like in all the quotes. But
I
it's,
like that.
small wins. Small
Yeah,
wins.
take it where you can. You had me at lobster roll. I used to live in Maine, and doing it on the cheap because I know how costly it can be because I've spent quite a bit of dollars on a lobster roll. I love that. We might have
Mhm.
to share recipes or something, even though I'm not much of
Sure.
a cook. So
It's all right. Your wife knows. She knows what to do. So and
wonderful.
that's not sexist. That's not sexist.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
woman.
yeah.
I can't be sexist. I'm a woman.
I will learn. I will learn. But cool, cool. I love that. You know how we do before we get rolling. Was there anything that you can talk about as we know? Because you and I both have screeners that we're watching. I know I've been pushing a lot to you as well because we're trying to do some catch up on some stuff. But anything that you want to talk about that we haven't highlighted?
Yeah, you see, my producer was kind of an asshole and made me watch The Brutalist. I don't know what the hell that was about, but he forced me to do that.
Stay tuned for the review, y'all. It was an Oscar winner. We had to do it.
Uh-huh, sure, 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 sure. But my husband finally got to watch Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. He was really excited to do that.
Oh,
Uh,
I thought he saw it. He never saw
no,
it back then.
it was one of those things where even though I had access to it because I have a cool producer who also forces me to watch The Brutalist, he he didn't want to watch it. For those of you out there in the world, when we watch screeners, they have our name or something on there to prove that we aren't going to do something like send it out into the universe. And he wanted to watch it without that. So, and that makes sense to me. Um, we watched that. We caught up on some anime, some cute stuff to try and take our minds away from things. So, for fans of Apothecary Diaries, I finally started season two. We watched 365 Days to the Wedding, which is a cute little anime series. But other than that, really just trying to catch up on stuff. Two things that we will be talking about in this weekly, I'm sure. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. What about you? What are you watching?
Um, s- you still had me at what you said. Did John like the War Raheem the LOTR?
He did.
And
He
did we
really
do a
enjoyed
review
it.
on that? I think we did a review. No.
Yes, we did do a review. That was
Okay.
one of the ones that we did in a more timely fashion back in 2024. But he did enjoy it. There's one benefit to having your family knows my husband knows to have a nerdy partner. You can always answer questions for him or for them when they're asking him. So there were many things about historical relevance, canon relevance, and I was just
That
you
was
pull out
fun.
that nerd cred card when you do that. But he enjoyed it. He did enjoy it.
Always fun. That's cool. 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 Yeah. I hope we get more of it for those LOTR fans, the anime versions of it. I dug it. I dug it. So go check out our review and all that. For me, Heather, I don't know if you're a reality show person. Are you? I don't think we've ever talked
No.
about reality shows. No?
We have, but very rarely. I just don't I enjoy documentaries because documentaries are technically reality TV,
Yeah.
but I'm not like I never watched like any of the, music shows or anything like that. So
Okay. Well, Survivor has always been a guilty pleasure of mine. I've
mhm.
always been a fan of Survivor. More game show type, with personalities that obviously, when they're not doing games, they're playing it up for the camera or whatever. So I've always enjoyed Survivor, for that show. And then this is a weird one for me. Guilty pleasure. Not a lot of people know. Temptation Island has always been a fave of mine to just see these couples willing to put their relationships to the test to go to this island with sexy singles on both sides to try and tempt the partners in the relationship. There's a new season that's for this week dropping on Netflix. They're now on Netflix, and I had advanced screeners for that. And because I'm not promoting it with because we're doing films this week, I'm going to share it here now, which I'm not spoiling on anything. So check that out on Netflix if you're a reality show fan. But girl, it's one of those shows that like, girl, like what is going on? Why the men are always scumbags? Let me just say, always cheating. They can't show their true test of love. But I may have some interviews lined up. So not booked yet, haven't done the interviews yet, but I'm working on that. And as a fan of that show, I'm really excited for that, and especially with this new season. So
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but there was actually I read an article about Temptation Island when it came out originally. It was very interesting because the original concept was about how humans were monogamistic. We technically are not, single partner human or animals, but we have pushed ourselves to do it uh, uh, due to religion, primarily due to religion.
I
And
would agree
it
with
was a
that.
really interesting article that Temptation Island was originally set up to kind of prove that point. But no, men are also shit. But from side to that, it was a very interesting article about how we aren't.
Yeah.
And we many of us choose to be. I have no interest of doing anything else, but it doesn't mean that you can't be. And polycules have become more and more popular. But I just wanted to add, it was a very interesting read. If I can find it, that article, once again, it was several years ago at this point. But it was interesting because we're not. And it's temptation is easy because of that, you know?
Yeah, totally. And I agree with that. And I would love to check that out. I've always found, we're entertainment people. I'm a creative writer, and the human relationship in all various means with everything. It always just fascinates me for something. I was a
Mhm.
wild and crazy guy before I got married, and now I'm very happily married. But just how people can do what they do, I'm like always cheering for the couples to stay together. You know what I'm saying? Let love win, but damn it if love doesn't win. And it's insane and it's crazy, but yeah, very interesting show. They really glammed up the production, I want to say, on this new season, so shout out to them. I'm as a creative, I love production. You see how they make it look, and they sell what they have that they're trying to show. And yeah, so good stuff. I'm excited. It's dropping this week. I watched the entire season already, and hopefully I'll have some interviews lined up with some of the people because it's going to be blockbuster. A lot of stuff is happening. If you're a fan of reality shows, relationship shows, Temptation Island. But there you go. So that's what I've been catching up on, and obviously, like Heather put it out there, putting me on blast. We have a lot of films we're going to be reviewing and dropping on the channel, and a lot of interviews dropping. And shout out to Heather because she's been pulling the load on that because of the schedule change up because of the apocalypse. But we got more stuff coming, and I don't stop booking because I don't know how to stop working and making things happen. So stay tuned, y'all. But let's get to the picks because I got a lot of them. I'm dropping 4 on y'all this week because there's a lot of material dropping this week, and we got a lot to say. First up, we're gonna get Looney. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. You ready to check this one out, Heather?
Sure.
Let's go.
UFO! Time for the next phase of my plan. Nothing can stop me now.
I hope that shatterproof glass can withstand the abuse. Mother!
Looks like it's up to us to save the Earth.
Oh, it was nice knowing you guys. Now who gets what? Situation is under control. There's no way we could screw this up. Boy, that almost blew up in our...
All right, there you go. Dropping this week, The Day the Earth Blew Up. Getting loony again with the Looney Tunes. I actually had the pleasure of checking this out last year as part of this big animation festival, along with some other NNMAs that are out there and will be coming soon. I think some of them already premiered already.
Most of them have already premiered at this point. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got me
and
going.
I spoke with the showrunner for this, Peter Braungart, who you know from Uncle Grandpa and other things. Go check out that interview; it's already on the channel. Some good stuff there, but also my pal Heather, in relation to this premiere now of the film finally dropping to the public. We'll
You.
have this week. I'll have posted up once I'm done. Actually, later today, it'll be posted. By the time you see this, it'll be posted. Heather had the chance to speak with Petunia Pig herself, as well as Porky and Daffy Duck, Eric Bauza. How was that, Heather? And aren't you a Looney Tunes fan?
I am. Candy Milo plays
Candy Milo,
Petunia
yes.
Pig.
I'm sorry, I forgot to mention her name.
No, it's
Petunia
okay.
Pig is on Candy
You're
Milo.
on a roll. You're on a roll. But I want to make sure Candy Milo is she is a Goliath in the voiceover industry.
Yes.
So it was really exciting for me. Yeah, I am a Bugs Bunny gal. It's actually something I got to talk to Eric Bauza about. In a previous interview, he had once mentioned that he was a 90s kid who grew up on these characters, and that's how he fell in love with doing voice acting. And that was me. I was not a Disney princess like many people in the night, like many girls in the 90s. I was a Bugs Bunny gal. I went to the Warner Brothers store almost every week. I have lots of Warner Brothers plush. I of course was in Dallas, and if for all of you in the DFW area, Six Flags over Texas was a must every single year. So I'm a big Looney Tunes girl, and it was really exciting to talk to them. And I loved it. I'm totally taking it like. I'm not happy with my birthday this year, but Looney Tunes drops the day after my birthday, and it's the first 2D art film that Warner Brothers has done since like 2009, something like that. So I'm taking it as a win for me, personally.
I love it. Super jelly, but I'm working on additional interviews with both of them. Eric Bauza is a Filipino, so shout out to Eric Bauza representing for us Filipinos out there. I'm hopefully going to have him booked for the SHOPOWSHO. And when I was doing research, because again, I failed to mention Candy Milo earlier, Heather, but when you had done the interview and I was getting everything together for, to edit up the interview, I saw that she is daughter of Tony Milo. She was Dex in Dexter's Laboratory, but she wrote a book about her father and just growing up and everything. So I'm working on booking that interview, and maybe if Heather's available, I can get her to do that one as well. But I want to know that story because I found that super fascinating. So hopefully more Candy Milo stuff. And just a shout out to her, since I forgot her. She's our Petunia Pig, but she's also Dexter's Laboratory. She's a bunch of other voices that
She started
laundry list.
For those of you. Yeah, for those of you who her big first recognition, she did Tiny Toons like the OG. Like she did OG Tiny Toons.
Yeah.
So it's and she's done basically every single other cartoon since then. So if you haven't heard this is why KP and I love talking to voice actors. You don't see them, you don't see their faces, but they are passionate, they are loving, they have incredible talent. And like watch my interview with them. I hardly talk. If I could have sat on that interview for 45 minutes, I would have said like maybe 5 words, and I love that. They were so excited about this film. And it makes you want to be more excited about it, even if you already are. And I that's probably one of my favorite interviews I've ever done. So
I love
but
that.
yeah.
I love that. Agreed. And so because they were talking so much, I'm going to try and get my time with Eric, and then and obviously get some time with Candy as well, for hopefully if you're interested in taking care of that, Heather, because when I saw that she wrote this book about her father, there's a lot of story there. And so I'm working on that. So stay tuned, y'all. Fingers crossed we'll have them booked. Or if you know Candy and Eric, let them know, hey, we want you back on the SHOPOWSHO and or NRW, so we can get a little bit more about you and just your career coming up in the game. So check that out. Check out the amazing interview Heather did with both of them, as well as the interview I did with Peter Braungart, the showrunner on this. Let's move on because I got something in my bag. It's a black bag. Let's go check out Black Bag coming to theaters this week. Weird transition. Heather's like, what did you say?
Where are you off to?
Black Bag.
Right. You asked how it works. To be with someone in this business, this is how.
Oh, we did a react to this one a bazillion years ago. Yeah, I remember now.
Discuss certain things again. assume she watches me. I would do anything for you.
Would you?
Yes.
If a situation presents itself, would you choose your marriage over everything else?
My devotion to my marriage is my professional weakness. Love you.
You got a breach. What did you do?
One of our people stole something.
Something extremely valuable.
You cannot imagine the damage. Find the leak. How long do you think you'll need?
Give me 2 weeks.
Thousands of innocent people will die.
Okay? 1 week. Who's the suspect?
Your wife.
I can feel when you're watching me.
Sorry.
I like it.
When you can lie about everything, when you can deny everything, how do you tell the truth about anything?
I need a satellite redirect, but this has to be unofficial.
You are one naughty husband, George.
You see, this isn't normal. The way you're doing this, just so you know.
What's on the menu?
Fun and games.
Is it true? No one can lie to you?
I don't like liars.
If it is Catherine, do you really think you can do it?
I don't know.
Maybe this is all your greatest game, George.
It's a very dangerous line of work.
I'll say.
Would you kill for me, George? Would you?
All right, there you go from Focus Features. Heather, what do you think of Black Bag?
We've been getting more and more of the Mr. and Mrs. Smith, style films lately. Not saying that's a bad thing. It's just we've been getting a lot more of these relationship-driven spy espionage films. It looks interesting. I love Fassbender, and of course, I love Blanchett. I honestly don't know how I feel about the movie in total, just because we've been getting so much. At some point we're going to get inundated with it, and I don't want to get bored of it because this looks fun, but I don't want to assume anything yet, if that makes sense.
No, completely. I feel the very much the same way. Definitely had the Mr. and Miss Smith vibes, and we recently had the Mr. and Smith series with Daniel Glover, and just other certain very similar type of shows and films. So I will be screening this as of this recording this week. So more than likely I'll have a review up with Anthony. Again, I wish Heather could join me there, but it's at the place that shall not be named, or the place that's in far, far away land that we hate going, but I make it out there because I need to cover this stuff. So look for that review. But yeah, I feel very much the same way. Already dreading the drive because I feel so about it. But Steven Soderbergh, as you said, Cate Blanchett, Michael Fassbender, David Cope on the writing chores. It's got me a little bit right there, but still kind of blasé. But we'll see.
The equation is there. The equation is there. Whether
the math is mathing, but the results, I'm not sure yet. Yeah. All right. So let's keep it moving. This film is from a studio that I love very much, A24. The screening actually already happened. I couldn't make it due to my wife being out of town and playing Major Dad, as y'all saw from last week's episode. So I won't have a review up immediately, but I'll probably have one up once it's out when I go see it on my own, because I love A24, and it's called Opus. Let's check out the trailer for Opus.
Surprised Novocaine isn't on this list.
We're flying around that Moretti's back. Like, Moretti?
After 30 years outside the public eye, pop icon Moretti returns for an exclusive listening experience.
He's bringing you a gift.
This is for Ariel Ecton.
It'll be an absolute honor to spend this weekend with you.
Thank you.
Yep, namaste. Everybody meet Ariel, some young blood from the magazine. This is Clara, the most hated sex symbol on TV.
Thank you. How's print media treating you?
Oh.
Congratulations.
and welcome to this once-in-a-lifetime gathering.
Meridian requires that everyone be shaven. So, how's the lady garden?
Mr. Moretti will be playing the greatest album of modern times. Future times, all the times, really. And there is more to come. So much more.
What is it that you guys do?
Would you like to see?
Sure, there's no call. Sure.
Upset that I'm not on stage.
Is this not alarming to you?
The back row's asleep. But the front row's ready to rage.
Are you sure you haven't been drinking with us?
Okay.
What the fuck is this?
All right, there you go. John Malkovich, Ayo Edebiri, A24, man. Juliette Lewis, Amber Midthunder. She's got a double week this week, y'all. Along with somebody else that you'll see in a second. I actually forgot about another film, so we're actually going to talk about 5 films this week. But what do you think of Opus, Heather?
I really don't know what to think. I still have this idea that it's about Jared Leto, and they're not letting us know that. He's a cult leader. Disney, I have no idea what he has on you, but he's a cult leader. I don't know what to think, because I feel like this could be a really, really good conversation piece on cults and how dangerous they are. And at the same time, I could also see it going way off the deep end and downplaying the problems. I could see both sides of it if it's not done correctly. And A24, though we love them, when they do great, they do great. When they don't do great, it's really meh. So I have my skepticals on about this movie, but once again, the cast looks amazing. And that's really what catches me. And unfortunately, even though we talk about how we want new stars to come forward, sometimes a name brand is what you need to get people into the seats. So to be fair.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm with you. The names are catching me. A24, they've got me. But I am skeptical as well. We had, because I couldn't attend the screening, my pal Anthony, as well as our friend Ashley Saunders, there's 2 of them caught the screening that I wasn't able to make, and they dropped their initial thoughts. And I have that on the NRW right now with their thoughts. They were getting definite Get Out vibes, and I can't remember if they liked it or not, so go check out their initial thoughts. But we'll have a full review once I've seen it, and we'll have more going with that. So very curious on that one. But shout out to Amber Midthunder. She's got 2 films this week, as well as somebody else, which is why I threw this one in there as well before we get to our top pick, because Ray Nicholson is also having a twofer this week with Amber. He's in a film called Borderline with Samara Weaving. Let's check this one out.
Hello?
I miss you a lot.
So by now, the best day of my life, and therefore yours, will be fast approaching. I love you so much, Sophia.
Tonight is the night I'm proposing. We've been through this before. You don't know Sophia.
You're hilarious, Sophia.
I'm ready to be yours forever.
We're getting married?
What, are you having second thoughts?
I have a surprise for you.
This is Penny. She's a big fan of yours.
I killed someone.
Look at that! Friends already.
Let's get all units to Cassowary Tabernacle.
JH, put the gun away. What kind of way is that to treat our guests?
Crazy bitch!
Oh, God.
Get out of my house!
That is such bad luck, Sophia.
Please help yourself to champagne and first aid.
You put a priest in a box?
No, I put a pastor in a box. We're Protestant.
All right, there you go. Borderline dropping this week in theaters as well as digital. What do you think of Borderline with our man Ray Nicholson, who I don't know if you knew, Heather, is Jack Nicholson's son, getting a lot of work, especially this week.
He looks exactly like his father. Exactly. If you did not know that was Jack Nicholson's son, you'd be like, nah. Look, you could put him into Psycho and it would just easy switch. Easy switch. He looks exactly like his father.
I'm excited for the future. He's got every bit of the chops of his father.
Yeah, we like to harp on nepo babies, especially ones in the government right now. But but there's some serious quality acting in the nepo babies of this generation. Samara Weaving, Hugo Weaving's one of my favorite actors of all time, and she got every bit of her father's talent. Every single bit of her father's talent. I didn't even know this movie was a thing. I don't think we did a react to it. You might know what the other team, but I haven't. And I like it. It gave serious Misery vibes, but like in a generational perspective because of the nepo babies. And I kind of like that. Like it's the misery of today instead of like replication. It felt very, let's do something the same, but with today's tech. And I really kind of dug that. So.
All right. I actually seen the film. I'm going to work on getting the screener renewed for you, Heather, so we could do a review. It expired when they sent it to me. I only had a chance to check it out because it got lost in my emails. But yes, pretty interesting. It's a different film. But yeah, Ray Nicholson is going to be a superstar. And yeah, so stay tuned for more. Hopefully Heather can join me to do a review this week. But yeah, he's out there. I'm a new fan, and with this, my top pick this week, you'll also see why when you see this one. And again, shout out to both him and Amber Midthunder with just all the work this week. You ready to talk about Novocaine, Heather?
Oh, sure. Now we're talking about it. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Here we go.
So, what's your deal?
My deal? I'm just a regular guy with a regular job, but I've got this condition where I don't feel pain. Hey, there we go.
Oh my God, you're a superhero.
No.
Can you feel this?
Definitely feeling something. Last night was amazing.
Get on the ground! Open the vault! Cops are here early! We need a hostage.
Oh my God, what am I doing?
I just want to know where Sherry is.
You ever fired a gun before?
So those are definitely third degree, so you're going to want to run it under some cool... Hey man, you okay?
Why don't you just call the police?
Do you think I'm in on this?
Manslaughter, Grand Theft Auto.
Do you know what it's like to wait your whole life to meet someone? Someone who finally gives your life meaning? Would you wait around for someone else to save her? Or would you do it yourself? What the fuck is that?
Heads up!
Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
What happened to your face?
You should see the other guy.
Tell me everything you know.
What's his name?
You gotta be careful, dude. You can still die. You're not Wolverine. You understand pain?
No! Stop it! Wow, that hurt! That one hurt the most!
How you like?
Novocaine? It is you! I thought you'd be dead by now.
Well, I'm not.
It's fucking Novocaine! And he's not fucking dead!
All right, Novocaine dropping this week. Jack Quaid, Jacob Batalon, Amber Midthunder, Ray Nicholson. We'll have a full review up on the channel. Heather went to the press screening. I couldn't make it that night again this past week, but I did see as of this recording last night. So we'll have a full review up on the channel with Heather and I. What do you want to say about Novocaine, Heather?
Well, Crank is a wonderful movie, and there are some elements for people who are concerned. My husband was one of them who was concerned that this was going to be a Crank remake. It is and it isn't. I'm going to say that it is and it isn't. Our reviews, I'm sure QP and I will talk through that. One thing that I will say, other than that, is that it was not plot armor. They did not use his disability, which they acknowledge as a disability right up front, which I really liked. I really liked the fact that they did not use it as a superpower. This is a disability this man has, and he's trying to save his girlfriend. Like it's a really nice way to not give him superpowers while also humanizing him or humanizing a disability. And it was very interesting to watch. While at the same time, and this is one thing this element is something that my husband was really concerned about, that they were going to use a disability as a point of humor, and they didn't. They made it a very realistic element to this action film. So yeah, those are my thoughts so far.
Agreed.
What about you?
Agreed. Well said. I was curious how they were going to play that out as well. We'll have our full thoughts, for the review. But yeah, I enjoyed it. But we'll dig in deeper when we have our review. But yeah, I thought it was great. I'm a fan of Amber Midthunder since Prey. Been waiting for her to get more work. Obviously,
Prey
Jacob
2.
Batalon.
Prey 2.
Yes, Prey 2.
Yep.
Jacob Batalon. Come on, Filipino brother. Always down with that cat. And again, Ray Nicholson is just shooting up the charts. I'm a fan of his with the work he's done so far. And Jack Quaid, I will tell you, fan of The Boys, but when I saw Companion that he did less than a month ago, he became such a dick that I wanted to punch him in the face. He plays the bad guy in Companion. It isn't presented as such, but when you finally watch Companion, and I'm sorry, spoilers, but fuck it, it's been out already for a while. He became an ultimate asshole in that movie. So when you become a dick, he's a literal dick. It changes my perception of him. I'm sure, a good person, great guy, but he was such an ultimate dick. He was his face just became a punchable face every time. I am less punchable, less wanting to punch him in this film because he makes you endear to his character. Both him and Amber Midthunder are just great as kind of a couple in this film. But God damn it, why you gotta make me like you again, Jack, when you made me hate you now? I liked you before, but then you made me hate you, and now I gotta like you again. Stop playing with my emotions, Jack. But yeah, shout out to Jack Quaid, the whole cast. We'll have a full review on the channel. But those are our picks. We threw 5 at y'all. I had to throw Borderline in there because I forgot that it was also dropping, and the fact that Amber Midthunder and Ray Nicholson are putting in that work, we had to put that work and show them that they are putting in that work. So just a lot of picks at you. So I gotta say, Heather, I'm already predicted again with so many different variety and a lot of things going on. You gotta give it a thumbs up this week.
I'm actually going to give it like a slight, like an 85%, like an 85%.
Okay, I'll take it.
And the only reason is because there are some of these films that we have seen in repetition so much, and I'm actually going to include Novocaine in that list. And explain more in the review. But that we've seen these types of films so frequently lately. I feel like we're getting flooded with them. So I'm at 85% because that 15% is the skepticism. Just a little bit of skepticism. So.
All right, there you go. And also, we may have a review from Novocaine. I just remembered it's still to be determined. The scheduling is kind of funny this week, but stay tuned. We may have one of the casts being interviewed by either Heather and I, depending on our schedules. So look for that as always. But those are our picks. Let us know what you think. Comments below. We're gonna have a ton of reviews. Heather and I are actually about to record that. Some more reactions, more interviews on the way. We're putting in that work. Shout out to my pal Heather. I'm Kuya P. Nerds rule the world. There you go. Those are picks for this week.